Agashe.
아저씨 이게 뭐야? Hello everybody, Agashe here. So today I'm going to be doing a K-drama review with you guys. So this drama has finally come to an end with a total of 16 episodes, and I did not do the beginning review with you guys because I was kind of like debating on whether I was going to watch it. So this drama is called When the Devil Calls Your Name, and I stumbled upon it just by accident, and I just wanted to see how it was, and I saw some funny clips on YouTube, so I was like, okay, let's give this drama a shot. And it was actually out to a total of 8 episodes already by the time I started watching, so I actually finished it, and so now I'm just gonna do a whole recap with you guys. So spoiler alert, if you guys have not seen it, do check out the drama, but if you're debating whether you want to watch it or not, check out this review, and if you like it, do go and watch the drama. So I'm gonna start off with characters, the synopsis, and I'm just gonna be reviewing in bulk, and I'm not gonna try to blabber on for too long and talk so much. So I'm just gonna get to the straight to the point, get to some of the points that happens throughout these episodes, and I'm not gonna give you guys every little detail, just partial of it, so you guys get an idea what this drama is about. So let's go ahead and watch it. So for the cast, we have Chung Kyung-hong as Harib, or Song Dong-chong, and he is a star composer who has sold his soul to a devil, and he has enjoyed youth and success with numerous hits to his new identity now as Harib. And then we have Park Sun-woo as Park Sun-woo or Wong, something like that, Woo, as Moo Tae-kang, or also known as Ryu. He is the devil, and he is currently living in Moo Tae-kang's body now. And then we have Nam Tae-rim playing the true form of Ryu when he was young. And then we have Isor as Kim E-kyung, and she is an unsuccessful singer-songwriter who only knows or gets bad luck all the time. And then we have E-il as Ji So-young, and she is CEO of Seoul Entertainment. And then we have Song Kang as Luka Alcevic. I can't say his name, but he is Harib's rookie son with a secret. And then we have Yoo Kyung-hong as Mr. Kang, which is Tae-kang's secretary. And then we have Ong Yu-shik, or Wee-shik, as Kang Ha. He is Harib's house roommate or roommate. And then we have Kim Won-hae as Kong So-rang, and he is a coffee owner and E-kyung's boss. And then we have Kim Hyung-mook as Lee Chung-ryung, and he is the co-CEO of Seoul Entertainment. So for the synopsis, to become one of the best entertainment industry singer, besides songwriting, you have to have talent, inspirations, and passion. But to reach this level of popularity and that Harib needs, he also is willing to make certain sacrifices. So 10 years ago, a struggling artist, Song Dong-chong, found himself wondering if he was ever going to make his mark in the world, his breakout in the world. So on the verge of giving up, he found himself face to face with the devil, and the devil offers him his heart desires for a price. And he is so desperate that he sells his soul to the devil, and he begins his new life for 10 years of unpredictable, successful, and everything like that. But those 10 years are almost up, and the devil has now come to collect his due, and he learns that his success, he becomes Harib, Song Do-chol, and he learns that his success and fame is a result of taking Kim E-kyung's talent and life. Learning that every deal you make with the devil comes with a price, Harib tries to bargain with his life. So from episode 1 to episode 4 right there, the episode starts us off with Harib watching his idol Siho on stage, crushing it and doing the best he can. And CEO Ji So-young congrats Harib for his hard work for getting Seahold to the top of the music chart. And then moving on, Harib receives tons of award that he doesn't go and receive, and he always has CEO G goes and receive it for him. And she convinced him to go accept his own awards. And when he does, he sees writing on a paper stating that his deadline is coming up. And at night, Harib drives to this old neighborhood and he collects, after going through a few staircase to a house, he stops at a mailbox and retrieves some mail. He returns home and goes in through this door to the bottom secret basement of his house, and he goes through the mail that he collected from this old house, and he stopped at this last one saying that it's a notice that his 10-year contract has come to an end, and according to this paper, he has 6 days left until Harib has to turn over his soul to the devil, Ryu. And so we get a flashback to how Harib sold his soul in the first place to the devil. So it takes us back to 2009, where we see an older version of Harib who is known as Song Dong-chong, and he is walking down the street, singing on the street to get some money, and it gets stolen by a person, a bypasser, and as he's chasing for after the money, he's pretty much just say, give me my guitar case and everything back. He falls into this manhole and he starts to wonder if this is how he dies. He wakes up and he is in this private jet with this very well-dressed man who tells him the story of how this man sold his soul to the devil. And he talks to Song Do-chong about his crappy life and offers him a better life if he sold his soul to the devil. So they start to bargain on whether, whatever he wants. So Song Do-chong gets sucked into this, and he makes a bargain for 10 years of his life. His first wish is to be hidden from the viewers. His second wish is for money, and his third wish is success. And there's always, every time you make wishes, there's always 3 wishes for you. But he saw the last option, that there's still a line blinking there, option number 4, and he decides to add another one, and he claims for his youth, and bam, we see him, he is saved, and we see a young version of Song Do-chong, and that's how Harib was created. So, 10 years of his life is coming to an end, and he is trying to make sure he gets to keep his youth, fame, and money, success, and everything like that. So, as much as he tries, he can, and the devil appears to him as Mo Tae-kang, and he is a famous actor. And the devil is ready to take his soul and end his life, but Harib starts to bargain again with him, and so that Harib can live on forever as Harib. At first, Mo Tae-kang doesn't want to bargain, but as he's enjoying the greed, hope, and feed and stuff like that from his fans, he realized that he cannot sing, and he's actually tone deaf, even though he's a very famous actor. So he agrees to make a deal with Harib, and Harib must find a first-grade soul for him. That this first-grade soul has to be willing to sign over their soul to Harib. Therefore, Harib will be free, and Mo Tae-kang will take this first-grade soul. So the reason Mo Tae-kang did this was because he believes that there's no such thing as a first-grade soul out there, and he gives Harib 3 months to do it. And Mo Tae-kang's pretty much well, he won't find it in 3 months because they don't exist. And even when he doesn't find it, I get my singing lessons from him, because this is a trade-off between them, and I become this famous actor living this fame, and I can actually sing. I get singing lessons from Harib, who is known to be the best in the industry. And it's a win-win situation for me. I become better, and he doesn't find a first-grade soul in 3 months. I take his soul, I still win in this situation. So throughout looking for a first-grade soul, Harib ends up meeting Kim Il-kyung, who gets entangled with him a lot. She has a very horrible past. She suffers every day trying to make ends meet. And apparently she went to jail as a middle schooler. She started to sing and create her own song in prison. Well, her song got produced and released by Harib while she was in prison. She stated that he plagiarized her song, but he refused to admit it. Kim Il-kyung proves it that the song are hers, and Harib learns that Mo Tae-kang steals other people's music and put it in Harib's dream. Therefore, for the past 10 years, Harib has never written an own song, and all the songs that he's producing has been stolen from him from the prison, from the devil. So pretty much the devil, when Harib is trying to come up with a melody, a song, or something like that. And you know how the devil promises him that in part of bargaining for his soul. The devil pretty much searches around, and whichever song sounds very nice and that is going to make hits, the devil steals that melody, plays it into Harip's dream, and he sees like this orchestra playing in front of him and everything like that. And then he writes a song and he produces it, and he like pretty much makes it his. So that's how he makes his money throughout his fame and everything throughout these 10 years. And then on the other hand, we get introduced to Harip's housekeeper or housemaid Kang Ha, who starts to like him, Lee Kyung, and he brought her into the house as a housekeeper because Kang Ha doesn't do anything cleaning or anything like that. And then she decides to give up on music, and now she's just working at tons of part-time jobs to make ends meet. And then Harip starts to pay her as his housekeeper, and then we get introduced to Luca. So just when things are just getting worse, Luca comes into the scene, and he arrives at the train station. He gets entangled with Lee Kyung, and their luggage just got swapped, and then she left her guitar with Luca, and then Luca, who also has some music and talent and everything like that, and then there was like a letter K written on the guitar, and he assumed that was her name, Kelly. So Luca started calling Lee Kyung Kelly every time he meet her, and so Luca ends up at Seoul Entertainment, and he tries out to be signed with this company, and CEO Ji So Young is kind of like iffy on whether she wants to do it, but the co-CEO Lee Chung-ril was like, just sign him. So she kind of has no idea why, Luca, like who this guy is, just sign him. And so we get introduced to how Lee Chung-ril becomes this co-CEO of Seoul Entertainment, and Harip hate him because they had a past together. So they used to be a duo called liver and gallbladder, and so now Lee Chung-ril is an older version of himself, and Harip is still the younger version of him, of like how Solo Chong used to look like. And so Lee Chung-ril got rich and popular, and he moved on with his life as Song Do-chong was still suffering and trying to make his songwriting and singer like a career and everything, and his career downfalled. And when they meet again, Lee Chung-ril realized that like there's something suspicious about Harip, and he starts digging into Harip and trying to find a tie back with Song Do-chong. So for episode 5 to episode 8 right there, realizing that like Harip ruins Kim Il-kyung's past and stole her music, he decides to make her famous and get her to sing again. He brings in her and Luca together, and things get very difficult when people start digging up who is Il-kyung, and her past pays a visit, and they find out she has a criminal background and comes from a very bad family. Therefore, nobody wants to listen to her music or support her, and they start attacking her. But Harip tells her to ignore all that and focus on her music, singing, and everything. And she has to be tough and get rid of her past and like pretty much dig deep and hide it and never bring it out, never let it bother her. So throughout these times, we get to see with Harip helping In-kyung, Mo Tae-gang gets involved with Lee So-young, and apparently in the past the real Mo Tae-gang has a real relationship with Ji So-young, and one day he just turned his back on her and he never called her back, and it showed us that the real Mo Tae-gang also sold his soul to the devil to become a very famous actor, because he was never getting anywhere. And when he asked for a little bit more time, the devil refused to give it to him, and so the devil took over his body. So that's why this current Mo Tae-gang, which is the devil, does not remember COG, and she is hurt by it because she doesn't know him at all, and she's like, what happened to our like long relationship? It just like disappeared overnight and everything like that. And then we go on to more information about Kim Il-kyung, where she gets she reveals about her past and all this stuff like that, and how she used to sing with someone named So Do-chong, and she calls him Agashe and everything. And it just made Harip feel so bad because he was involved with her 10 years ago. He helped save her from her abusive stepfather, and she stuck around him, learned how to play guitar and sing, and they went to a wedding to play together for the wedding there, and it turned out it was Lee Chung-rung's son's wedding then. And no, his son was getting married in the same venue, and so the son was having the wedding at the other side of the place, and Song Do-chong and Lee Kyung was singing in the other venue. And so it Lee Chun-ro was making fun of Song Do-chul, and he ended up stealing money from the wedding, and he left In Kyung at the scene, and she got thrown into jail for theft, and it was all because of him. So the reason why, and then he felt bad for that, and then it goes back to the reason why he stole the money was his ex-wife has stumbled upon him and asked and told him that she needed money for their child's surgery, who was dying, and he ended up going to visit his son at the hospital. His son's name was Ye Sun-ho, and at the hospital he saw how sick his son was, so he decided to go steal that money and give it to his wife to save the son for the surgery. And he says, I will never see you guys again. I will not take responsibility for this and act like I do not exist. And they all go separate ways. So now, like, you know, that reveals it all, and he has a bunch of tie with In Kyung, and he feels very bad. So now he's trying to make her career work for all the 10 years that he had made her suffer. Now we go back to the present time where we see Lee Chun-ro, who finds out that Ha-ryb does have something tied with Song Do-chul, and not wanting to reveal his identity, that he is Song Do-chul himself, and he, you know, stole his soul and he gained youth and all this stuff like that. He lied that he was Ha-ryb. He lied that he was Song Do-chul's son. This got Luca very confused, and Luca started to search for Song Do-chul, and he believes that he is Song Do-chul's son. And now he's all like, who is Ha-ryb? If Ha-ryb is Song Do-chul's son, it means he is my hell. So we get into Luca's past. Luca is his mother has something to do with Song Do-chul, or the dual liver and gallbladder, and gallbladder or something like that. And so his mother hates it every time he brings up the name Song Do-chul or anything like that. This lead Luca to leaving his town with his mom, and he came to Korea looking for Song Do-chul because he believes that is his father. And then what is it? On the other hand, throughout these drama, we keep seeing these episodes. We keep seeing In Kyung's boss at the cafe, Kong So-rang or something like that. He seems very suspicious and interesting, and he's always saving Lee Kyung, making sure she's fine, nothing happens to him. And we see him have some special ability. He saved a little boy from falling off of this balcony, and he ends up meeting Mo Tae-gan, and Mo Tae-gan greeted him as father. So we're like, that's the devil's father. Like, what a plot twist. And there's just so much things going on. So from episode 9 to episode 12 there continues off with, you know, Mo Tae-gan meeting his father, which is Manager Kong, and the deities are living within the human world, and Manager Kong begs Mo Tae-gan to stop taking human soul and tells him that you belong at my feet, ask for forgiveness and beg for mercy so that you will be fine, all stuff like that, you know. So this upsets like Mo Tae-gan, and he, like, you know, turned into his devil form, demon form. So when he gets upset, he turns into like this really like dark devil form and all stuff like that. And he tells like his father how his father didn't protect him, and he lost one of his wing, therefore he cannot return home, and he also lost one eye, therefore he cannot see the beauty of the world, and he vows to continue to take revenge. So we're kind of like, oh, like what happened and all this stuff to the devil, how pretty much to real how he became the devil and everything like that. And then we shift on to Kim Hee-kyung and Luca, and she's slowly making herself to the top of the music chart, and everybody is loving her. She gets to sing on stage again, and she wanted to do a cover by Liver and Gallbladder, and Ha-ryb refuses, but her and Luca plays it anyway, and they do really well on it, and he allows them to, you know, sing it, but he doesn't want them to because it's his song, and pretty much he doesn't want anyone to dig back about Song Do-chul or what really happens to Song Do-chul. But Luca continues to dig and search for it, and hoping that Ha-ryb would know. But Ha-ryb doesn't want to pretty much talk about Song Do-chul anymore, and he tells Luca that Song Do-chul is dead and to let it go. So, you know, they get into this argument, and it brings Luca into like having like a short breath attack, and he grabs his chest and he's like suffering, he falls to the ground. Ha-ryb piggybacks him, and they're at Song Do-chul's old house, and Ha-ryb piggybacks him, run down this long flight of stairs and gets into a hospital, and Luca is being rushed to the emergency room, and as he's being rushed to the emergency room, he kind of slowly looks at Ha-ryb, and Ha-ryb flashes a memory back to him of when he first went to visit his son Ye Sung-ho. So it makes him like flash all these things back, and as he's about to like, you know, After everything, he's about to go check up on Luca. He sees his ex-wife rushing to the hospital and asking, "Where is my son, Ye Se-ho?" And they're like, he's in the VIP room. She runs over there and yells at him and scolds at him about his health. And the doctor comes in that Luca has like this congenital heart attack or defect or something like that, which is getting worse, and he needs surgery quickly, and or else he won't make it, and they can't fly back to their old town. They have to stay here because he needs to get surgery or he's not going to make it back home. This gets Harib to go back and think about his talk with Motaegang of how Harib's first wish was to not be seen from that child anymore, hidden, and pretty much it was his son Ye Se-ho, and we find out that Luca is his son. Luca is Ye Se-ho, and his mom got married to the Prime Minister of France, and they moved away, and now he's back looking for his father. So Luca needs surgery in 2 weeks, but he refused to do it because he wants to perform with Ikkyung on stage and focus on music and find his father. His mother is very upset and states that his father doesn't care for him, and Luca sees it different, that he needs to give his father a chance. His father probably has some reasoning behind leaving him when he was young. So he was going to perform on stage with Ikkyung, but he couldn't, and Harib ends up performing on stage with her, brings back memories of his old day, and brings us to Lee Chung-real pushing of who is Harib for real. And Harib just revealed that his father is Song Do-cho. So and then he states that his father is dead, So this makes Luca to be like, this is my Hyung. Harib is my Hyung, and we are related. We have the same father and everything like that. And Lee Chung-real doesn't believe it, so he starts digging more. And then because he starts to dig more, and it reveals to us that he also sold his soul to the devil, and his 7 year is almost up, and you're just like, oh my god, everybody is selling their soul to the devil. God damn, the devil is like taking everybody's life. But anyways, throughout these next couple episodes, it pretty much focused on Harib and Luca and going through his surgery and making sure that his son survives and all this stuff like that. And throughout the surgery, Luca's heart suddenly stopped, and he didn't make it. And Harib went to Motaegang, and he begged that for Motaegang to take his soul, and just as long as he saves Luca. And Motaegang's like, no, I demand for Kim Ikkyung's soul. So Harib ends up bringing the contract to her, but he's debating on whether he was gonna give it to her to save Luca. He's kind of in this sticky situation. Manager Kong shows up at the hospital, and he revives Luca, and Luca made it through the surgery, and he survived. Therefore, Harib did not give the contract to Ikkyung, and so he ended up overhearing the conversation between Motaegang and Manager Gong and finding out that they are father and son, and he starts to be like, okay, so now what's going to happen to my son, or what is it that you want, that you're in this human world. And then we get to see how it all started with Ryo, how he became the devil and everything. He was punished for rejecting and believing and following the deity. Therefore, the deity was going to banish him from their world, and his father turned a blind eye to him. His father did not help him, where he pleaded to just let him go. He doesn't believe in all this stuff, so they cut off his wing, therefore he can never return home. And that's how he became the devil, and he was very upset about that, and he started taking everybody's soul just to get back at the deity. So Motaegang is now pressuring Harib a lot to get Kim Il-kyung's soul to him, and if he doesn't, he's going to take Harib's 10 years of his life back, and he's going to become back into his own self, Song Do-cho, who has nothing. So he takes the blank contract to Ikkyung to sign, and in the process doing that, he meets Luca, who's standing in front of his house, and he tries to walk away, but Luca calls him, Song Do-cho-shi, and all stuff like that. And he starts asking if he can visit his son and all stuff like that, because when Motaegang was trying to show Harib how he would live if he was to take everything back, and Harib ends up being Song Do-cho again, he ended up at the hospital visiting Luca in his old form, Song Do-cho, and so Luca believes that his father is still alive because he once saw his father like that when he was young. So they get into argument and all this stuff like that, and Harib screams at Luca's face and said he is not his brother. Song Do-cho doesn't consider him as a son, so he tells Luca to go back where he came from and don't ever come back again. And he leaves Luca, like he shoves Luca away and he drives off and he leaves Luca. And Luca is crying and he is in pain that his own father doesn't want to claim him. It's pretty much just like what his mother has stated before. And he's standing across the street and he makes a phone call to Ikkyung, and she's all like, it's okay, don't cry, let's talk and I'll come see you. And apparently she's across the street, and he gets off the curb to cross the street, a truck comes and hit him and he like flies off, and like Ikkyo saw the whole thing and she rushes to him trying to wake him up, and like he's not waking up, and she's just like, oh my gosh, why does bad thing always happen to me? And we see the messenger, pretty much like the deity, all this stuff like that. He's standing from the side and he's watching as Luca is suffering and he's pretty much dead. So for episode 13 to 16 right there, Motaegang, he was like, wondering what's going on, and he actually ended up at where the accident happened, and he sees Ikkyung is crying over Luca's body. He tries to go over to them, but a voice commands him to stop. He turns around, it is the messenger, the deity guy, and they get into an argument, and Motaegang seems like he was going to go and save Luca, and the deity said that it's time for them to take him because he was supposed to be dead already during his surgery, but he was saved. And they get into a fight and they start pulling like their lightsaber sword out. It's so hilarious, but yeah, it's like this big scene that happened. And then Motaegang's father, Manager Gong, appears and he saves his son, and he admits all his wrongdoing, and they start to fight. And Manager Gong pretty much saying that I'm the one who saved Luca, it was not my son. So Manager Gong, he ran his sword into the messenger deity, and then that guy like disintegrated. And Motaegang is confused of why his father like does this stuff for him, And so they're kind of like, he's kind of like confused of why his father does this stuff for him. And Harit returns back and he sees that Luca is covered in blood, and he calls out to his son and he's trying to wake up Luca, saying that I'm your father. And that's when Ikkyung realized that he is Song Do-cho, and like Luca is his son. And then Song Do-cho pretty much Harit realized that he needs to save his son. Therefore, he begs the devil, and the devil said, you have the contract, have her sign. If as long as she signs, your son is saved. So he pretty much yells at her to sign, and this is when Ikkyung immediately grabs onto the situation that like he became Harit because he sold his soul to the devil, and the devil is Motaegang. So she doesn't want to be rich, or she doesn't want anything. She states, I just want a normal life. I don't want anyone to suffer because of me. I don't want people to be sad because of me. And she signs the paper, and the word appears salvation on there as her only wish. And after she signs the paper, Luca's fingers twitch, and we find him that and then he appears at the hospital covered in blood. He passes out and he is put in a hospital bed, and Ikkyung becomes dead. She visits the hospital, she goes and sees Luca, and because without her soul the world is dark, and she sees a bunch of ghosts instead of humans, and Luca wakes up and she talks to him in an emotional voice, and she's like, next time be careful while you're crossing the street. So she starts living her new life, and she becomes a different person. She demands for a concert all over Asia. She pushes Harit to the side, calling him plagiarism or plagiarized composer, and she doesn't want to trust him. And she goes and revealed the truth out to Luca that your father sold his soul, and now he is Harit. He sold his soul just to get everything he wants. So Luca finds out that his father is Harit. He goes and meets Harit, and he thanks Harit for everything, but he doesn't tell Harit that he knows that that's his father. So he pretty much keeps it a secret, and Harit still thinks that like Luca doesn't know. But Luca, he cannot accept the new changes in Ikkyung, and he finds out because he already knows everything about the devil and everything. He goes to Motaegang and begs and offers his soul to Motaegang so that in return to save Harit and Ikkyung back to normal. But Motaegang refused, and he says that Harit wouldn't want that. Luca is begging him, and he's like begging on his knees, and like Motaegan's like, I'm not gonna take you, so just leave, there's nothing you can do. And so seeing that everything is like a mess right now, Harit, he goes and tells Motaegang to return everything back to its normal because everybody is suffering, everything is a mess, literally. And he's all like, just take my soul and give everything back to the normal everything. I don't care if I become Soul Patrol again. They get into an argument, and Moltegan refused to take everything back, and Harib, he made like a sword out of his guitar. He was going to like kill Moltegan with that, but engage a fight, but he ends up swirling around and slash through these white trees that it's always in Moltegan's room, house, and everything like that. And Moltegan screams as we see thousands of like white light fill the room. And Harib turns to Moltegan, and he's all like, "What's going on? Why are you upset?" And Moltegan's all like, "You just ruined my collection of soul." And he's like, now like there's no way for the soul to return back to their original bodies or whatever like that, because you just let them all out. And like they're like, "Oh my gosh, now what are we gonna do? All these soul that Ryu has collected is like now not in one place, they're all over the place, and we have no place in finding them." So after releasing all these collection of soul, Harib saw he actually saw Yi Chun-ryu's this Koseo's his floating around him, and he was hoping that like the soul would go back into him or he would take it, but stupid Chun-Ro just brushed his shoulder and his soul like flew off and disappeared, so he's like, "Ah, you stupid." And so like everything is falling apart, and it's just a whole mess towards these last couple episodes. CEO G, she left the company. Harib identity is revealed out that he's Song Do-chol. EQ is dead inside, all sorts of stuff. And just when Harib realized that, or he thinks that EQ, she sold her soul, she has no inspiration left, she's not gonna make good music, she ends up actually crying with real tears and feeling kind of pain. So he remembers that when a human sells or loses their soul, they have no feelings or inspiration left. But with the human's will, they want to hope and all this stuff like that kicks in, they will still have hope that they will still be a human being, like have feelings and everything like that. So he has hope that EQ can still make it and everything like that. And he realized that everything has been like but he's just come to realization that everything has just so effed up throughout these 10 years, and he's been so greedy, and he's just been trying to make things work for him. He's tried to settle things up, settle things before he chooses to disappear forever. So he performs with Luca as it was Luca's wish, and afterward Lucas decides to go home, and he tells and before Luca left, he tells Harib, pretty much passing on this information to Harib that, you're my father, but not indirectly saying it. And he says that, he forgive his father. He doesn't blame his father for leaving him. He understands his father has his reason for leaving him in the first place, and he has no problem with that. And if he can meet his father one more time, and it's okay if his father's not here to meet him or he never sees his father. As long as he gets to meet his Hyun, which is Harib, he's happy. So Luca returns home safely with his mom, and Harib decides to leave and disappear. But things start to slowly fall back to normal as everything is getting fixed because of Harib slashing through the tree, and all the souls is released. They're actually returning back to their human body. So people are getting their soul back, return to their bodies, and everything like that. We start to slowly see that, and everybody is getting their soul. This little white light is going back into them, which is their soul. And then how throughout all this drama, we get to see Harib's housemate Kang Ha, who he doesn't know his past, and he forgot stuff, and he doesn't want to recover himself, and he doesn't know because he's pretty much traumatized of he doesn't know what he did in the past. He found out he was actually a judge, and he did no justice on the case, and he realized he needs to do justice, and he goes back and fix it, and he becomes a better person. And this case that he was actually working on was actually Chun-Ryu's case, where he has like this tiger pharmaceutical where he was kind of like doing bad things. So Kang Ha, who is the judge, put him sentenced to jail for 182 years or forever like that. And then we get to see Rule. He gets taken back to be punished by the deity, and Moltegan is back into his life, and he goes back to normal, and he goes back to CEO Ji So-young, and they are back to normal again. Their relationship is back to rekindle. And then we see Harib, he finally gets his soul back, and he turns back to Song Do-chol, and now he runs manager Gong's Cafe, and pretty much it's like a music cafe, and him and Ikil is performing together. She got her soul back. She does music better now. She's living a normal life that she always has, and things finally worked out between her and her family and all this stuff like that. So everything ends up on a good term, and everything is back to normal of all the stuff that the devil did. So that ends it for this drama of When the Devil Calls Your Name, a total of 16 episodes, and I did not give a much spoiler, but just pretty much the gist of the story and some parts of it and everything like that. And if you guys like it, do hit thumbs up, like, subscribe to see more of this coming. And there's not much I can give about this drama, which I actually really like it, the meaning behind it, the story, the answers, and all that stuff like that. That, you know, yeah, at some point you're gonna go through a very difficult time. You know, you wish for things, but don't be tempted and don't sell your soul for stupid stuff like that, because you know what, things will eventually fall into its place. You're just going through a very bad time right now, you know. That's what Agashe always says to me, and I always, like, you know, keep that to myself, stay positive, and you know, things will work out for the best. This is just one of those moments that you're having a downfall and it will kick back right back up and stuff like that. So pretty much this drama is like the whole moral of the story is like that. So it's really good. I actually really like it and I enjoyed it. So if you guys have not checked it out, do check it out, the drama When the Devil Calls My Name. And that is it for today's review, and I will see you guys next time.